My name is Jesse Meekum from You Need a Budget? Yes, you do. And this is another Whiteboard Wednesday. Today I'm going to answer that age-old question that veterans and newbie wine-abbers alike all ask: how many categories should I have? Well, the specific, prescriptive answer is, it depends. Wise people, two wise people said two wise things. Only measure what you intend to change, and what's measured is improved. What does improvement mean when we start measuring our money, measuring our spending, measuring those outflows? Improvement doesn't mean that we reduce our spending necessarily. Improvement means that our money and our values align. And then if that means that spending reduces in one area so that it can be used elsewhere, that's just fine. But spending reduction for its own sake is no way to really live, in my opinion. So, when we look at improvement, we're looking at finding peace and contentment. And we only want to improve, or we only measure what we want to improve, right? That has a lot to do with your categories and how granular and how specific you'd like to be. If you don't want to measure your Indian food consumption, then you should not have an Indian food category. If you do want to measure your toothpaste consumption, then you would potentially have that toothpaste category. What you have to ask yourself is, based on this Whiteboard Wednesday graph, and a graph we must have, number of categories or your effort, and there is effort tied to more categories, more swiping on the phone, more scrolling on the computer, more typing to narrow down that search for a specific category, more thinking because there are more categories to look at overall, just more thinking in regards to where the money should even go in the first place. So more effort with more categories. That is an absolute truth. On the y-axis you have insight. Insight means knowledge that you gain in order to improve the situation. And remember, improvement is contentment and peace, not necessarily just carte blanche spending reduction. This graph is an interesting one. When you measure just one category or just a few, your insights skyrocket really quickly. That's because measuring just one category in a meaningful way, something you decided you want to change, that can yield a lot of results. I spend how much on groceries? Oh my word. Or, oh, I thought it was actually worse. Now I don't have to feel guilty every time I go to the grocery store. Both things can happen, and both happenings are good. As you get a little bit further into the effort side of things, it climbs. Your insights climb as your effort increases, and then you get to this point of diminishing returns where each new unit of insight that is awarded is not commensurate with the effort given. Then you get to the scary spot, and some of you are here in this spot. Worse, less insight with more effort. You're creating so much noise, so much cognitive overhead, that you're actually gaining less insight from more effort, and we don't want that at all. There is a balance to be had. Let me give you one tactic before I wrap up with our key points. That tactic is, if you want to reduce your categories, and I think overall less effort for the same insight or thereabouts is a worthy goal with category structure. If you want to reduce category count, you could look at all of your monthly fixed amounts and you could roll them all up into one category called bills, fixed or something like that. If you wanted to actually roll up all of your Rule 2 funds, life insurance premiums, Christmas, car repairs, you could do that too. You would just have one lumpy number that represented all of those other numbers. The worry is that you start to lose some of the granularity and lose some of the ability to measure and improve in those specific line items. But with fixed monthly amounts, where you're certain that you want to spend that gym membership, the Netflix membership, the rent, a fixed water bill or something like that, you're certain you want those dollars to go out the door, then you don't necessarily need to sit there and budget unique amounts to each category and categorize them to a unique category, because you don't need to measure those things. You've measured them and decided that they're in line with what you value, and you can let it be. So you take those different sizes of fixed monthly amounts, you consolidate them into one fixed category, and then you're off to the races. That's just one little tactic. Key points to take away. Find a balance between your effort, number of categories you've decided to use, and the level of insight you're gaining from those categories. Number 2, change your categories as needed. Blow up a category, a miscellaneous that's kind of a black box of what spending. Blow that up into more specifics if you need to, but also consolidate down if you'd like to. Simplify a little bit. Finally, don't be afraid to go to File, Fresh Start, and Start Fresh. That's one of our favorite features at YNAB. Veterans use this feature. It doesn't mean you give up, it means you're going on to the next victory. And it means that you get to start with a clean slate and set up a new category structure however you like. Each following Whiteboard Wednesday will hopefully be just as tricky in that I don't give you a specific answer, I just turn it around back on you and tell you it depends. I'll see you next time.